Hey, Cotton, what is it? I've improved your Chimera armor set. I'm not sure Hammond really knows what he was doing. Excuse me? Well, he was making these tiny little holes for jewels. Oh yeah, the decoration slots. Yeah, they could have been at minimum 33% bigger. Really? Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages, Sunbreak is out and we all finally get to experience the glory of this expansion, but there are many things that are quite a bit deeper than they appear at surface level. Today I'm going to be guiding you through the forest that is decorations in Master Rank, just the standard ones. If you want to know more about the Rampage decorations specifically, we already have a video up about that on the channel. If you want to check it out in any other of our Sunbreak videos that we're making, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss out. When it comes to Master Rank decorations in Sunbreak, they have taken a bit of a page out of the Iceborne book, bringing back the concept of 4-slot decorations. However, they are implemented quite differently than they were in that game. In Iceborne, the 4-slot decorations were, for the most part, a combination of one offensive skill and a utility skill, in this way forcing you to have utility that many players otherwise avoid in the pursuit of the perfect offensive set. In Sunbreak, there are a few offensive skills that double up in 4-slot jewels, but there are no such thing as jewels with multiple different skills on them. And if you're wondering, there isn't anything like a 4-slot attack jewel with multiple levels of attack either, or critical eye, or weakness exploit, or critical boost, which, while a bit constricting for building towards a hard attack up build, does also mean that we aren't stuck using that to be as efficient as possible. In fact, this is probably the right moment to share that, in my personal opinion, utility skills have more value in Sunbreak than they have had for a while in Monster Hunter. Without spoiling exactly why, recovery up has become an absolute top tier skill for me. Many weapons now have hyper armor attacks thanks to all the switch skills and silk binds, and pretty much all of those weapons will want to be running full stun resistance to avoid getting stunned when you expect to just come out of an attack unscathed. And for reference as to how strong the utility can get, there is a 4-slot defense jewel that gives you a full-on 5 ranks of defense up, which is just massive, providing an 8% defense increase across the board for one single decoration.
Excellent value.
Generally speaking, if you want to go pure offense, you're going to be putting 2-slot decorations in these 4-slot holes in your armor, but there are just so many better ways to use them. As such, let's go over all the new decorations in Sunbreak with both a notice and a warning that the material list will both tell you how to unlock each decoration as we go, as they are unlocked by defeating the monster whose parts are shown, and also the warning that as we get to later jewels, there will be some spoilers for the late game. So simply don't look at the material list for the last few jewels if you are trying to avoid spoilers as much as possible. Starting off then, we have Sniper Plus for 2 levels of steadiness, Hard Dragon Resistance for all 3 ranks of Dragon Resistance, Hard Ice Resistance, Hard Thunder Resistance, Hard Water Resistance, and Hard Fire Resistance, each also providing 3 ranks of their respective elemental resistance. Hard Botany is 3 ranks of the Botanist skill. Hard Geology is 3 ranks of the Geologist skill. Hard Enduring for all 3 ranks of the Item Prolonger skill. Hard Hungerless for all 3 ranks of Hunger Resistance. Dragon Jewel Plus is a new 2-slot jewel worth 2 dragon attack, and then there is Frost Jewel Plus, Bolt Jewel Plus, Stream Jewel Plus, and then Blaze Jewel Plus for the exact same purpose for their respective elements. After that is Defense Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of defense in a 2-slot jewel, and then we get to Hard Bomber, which is all 3 ranks of Bombardier in 1 jewel. Medicine Plus for 2 ranks of recovery up. This is one that I personally highly recommend getting good use out of. There is also Hard Recovery for all 3 ranks of recovery speed, Protection Plus for 2 ranks of Divine Blessing, Gobbler Plus for 2 ranks of Speed Eating. Hard Friendship is a 3-slot jewel with 3 ranks of wide range on it, Hard Wind Resistance for all 3 ranks of Windproof, Charger Plus for 2 ranks of Focus from 1 jewel, Hard Satiated for all 3 ranks of Free Meal altogether, Hard Wall Runner for all 3 ranks of Wall Runner, Evasion Plus for 2 ranks of Evade Window in 1 jewel, Gambit Plus for 2 ranks of Punishing Draw, Jumping Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Evade Extender, Iron Wall Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of the Guard skill, Shield Plus for 2 ranks of Guard Up, Hard Steadfast for all 3 ranks of stun resistance in one place. This one is great for anyone with a hyper armor move as part of their toolkit, as I mentioned earlier. Hard Defense is a 3-slot jewel worth 3 ranks of defense. The Breath Jewel is a new 3-slot jewel for the Quick Breath skill, which is a brand new skill in Sunbreak. It removes or slows statuses when you do a switch skill swap, and recovers health when a status is removed in this way. The Hard Friendship Jewel is a 4-slot decoration with 4 ranks of wide range on it. The Redirection Dragon Jewel is a 3-slot decoration which gives you 1 rank of the redirection skill, which again is new. Then we have the Hard Defense Jewel Plus Plus, which gives you 5 ranks of defense in a single decoration. Crit Element Plus is, of course, 2 ranks of Crit Element. The Blade Scale Jewel is a 2-slot decoration for 1 rank of the Blade Scale Hone skill. New to Sunbreak, this gives you sharpness back for rolling through an attack. The Flywall Jewel is a 1-slot jewel that gives you Wall Runner Boost. Another new skill in Sunbreak, and this one gives you faster wirebug recovery speed while running on walls. The Mighty Bow Jewel is a 4-slot decoration that gives you the Bow Charge Plus skill, finally freeing bow users from having to use that one arena earring headpiece to have their ideal build. The Hard Dragon Jewel is a 3-slot jewel for 3 ranks of dragon attack, and then of course there is an equivalent version for each other element. The Hard Frost Jewel, Hard Bolt Jewel, Hard Stream Jewel, and Hard Blaze Jewel. Then we have the 4-slot Hard Drain Jewel for all 3 ranks of Stamina Thief in one place. The Hard Grinder Jewel for all 3 ranks of Speed Sharpening together. The Resistor Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Blight Resistance. The Hard Brace Jewel for all 3 ranks of Flinch Free. The Footing Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Tremor Resistance. The Physique Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Constitution. The Bubble Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Bubbly Dance. The KO Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Slugger. The Refresh Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Stamina Surge. The Sprinter Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Marathon Runner. The Mind's Eye Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Mind's Eye. The Wirebug Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Wirebug Whisperer, which again is another skill I think people should really go out of their way to have in Sunbreak even more than base Rise. The Precise Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of the Ballistic skill. The Draw Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Critical Draw, which is slightly stronger in Sunbreak than it was in base Rise. The Fungiform Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Mushroomancer. The Earplug Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Earplugs. The Enhancer Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Power Prolonger. The Hellfire Plus Jewel for 2 ranks of Hellfire Cloak. This is one I could see being quite interesting as one of the more offensive options offered by a 4-slot decoration. And then finally the Fate Jewel Plus for 2 ranks of Good Luck. With that, you have seen every 4-slot decoration currently available in Sunbreak, as well as all the new non-4-slot decorations, at least until the title updates are released in the future, and more than likely unlock some new things. The important things of note here though is that there is no decoration for multiple ranks of attack, or multiple ranks of critical eye, or weakness exploit, or critical boost. They really want you to get a bit more creative with your builds. They want these 4 slots to either be used for utility or for damage through the more fun skills like Wall Runner, weirdly, or Hellfire Cloak. Pure attack builds are what make the game easy, but they aren't necessarily the most fun way to play it unless your idea of fun is just killing things as quickly as physically possible. There are a number of these that will shake up builds quite a bit. I mean, being able to fit all of stun resistance and all of speed sharpening into a single decoration slot each is sort of massive, as both of these are relatively important skills these days. I mean, think about it. If Hammond had full speed sharpener, he might actually be done his idle animation by now. This 1-slot jewel for Wall Runner Boost is interesting as well. The skill isn't overly powerful, but only taking up a 1 slot makes it worth considering using anyways. 5 defense in a single jewel is sort of awesome too, especially as things start to hit harder and harder near the end of Master Rank. And of course, things like Medicine Plus for 2 ranks of recovery up are going to start seeing more and more use in my opinion, as I think that skill in particular is really going to become a staple of Master Rank Sunbreak. There are also things that I pointed out like Hellfire Cloak, which actually does affect your damage, even if not quite directly. You can use this to give yourself a couple extra knockdowns per hunt, or combine it with the 3-slot Rampage decoration for Magnamalo's Soul to increase your damage while inflicted with Hellfire. There are all kinds of things that are possible now thanks to all of these new jewels, and while they may not be straight up stronger than a full attack power focused set, they are still important for making the more interesting builds even come close to as good, which I personally love, as silly builds that are still effective are my favorite kinds of builds in Monster Hunter. All in all, the way that you get all these new jewels is just by hunting monsters. Just about everything that you hunt in Master Rank will unlock something new, and some of them are really worth pursuing depending on what kind of gameplay experience that you want. Personally, I heavily recommend leaning into these heavy utility options. They'll just make your gameplay experience more comfortable, and we aren't all speedrunners, right? We get hit by the monster sometimes, we have to heal, and the less time that you have to spend healing, the more damage you can do. The less time that you spend carding, the more damage you can do. It all evens out in the end. So, how do you feel about all the new decorations then? Are you happy we don't have any sort of 4-slot attack jewel, or are you upset that they're capping the potential of pure raw builds? Honestly, they will still be ridiculous, so I wouldn't be too worried if you are. Like if you like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.